Sometimes when we're out for a ride, realistically we're going to have to leave our bikes unattended for a short amount of time. This could be during a bike packing epic where you need to pop into the shops to buy some food for the next day. It could be in the middle of a Sunday ride with some friends where you're just going into a cafe to get a coffee. At times like that, you can't always have a Sold Secure Gold lock to hand that you can attach your bike to a Sheffield stand like one of these to be totally secure. So in this video, we'll be looking at quick little hacks that will make your bike ever so slightly more secure and, more importantly, just slightly more difficult to steal for any opportunist thieves. Now the first hack is a really simple one, and essentially using a helmet as a rudimentary lock to attach around the rear wheel and make the bike ever so slightly more difficult to take away with them. Now this couldn't be more simple. Just take the helmet straps and lock them through the rear triangle and around the rear wheel. Now I can't emphasize enough, this is not an alternative for a proper lock. But if a thief is grabbing this on the fly, they'll just suddenly see it's locked in place by that strap. It's not much, but it's enough to maybe mean that they'll run on and just try with another bike or just move on altogether. Okay, our second method, which is a little bit more time intensive, is to remove the front wheel from the bike altogether. So to do that, we first have to unbuckle the brake or release the brake. Different bikes have different setup for doing that. This is a sensible caliper rim brake, so it's just pulling out this little bolt. From there, we undo the quick release, and it can be a case of either just resting the front wheel inside the brake bridge or just taking it out of the bike entirely altogether and popping it beside it, like so. Again, it's not a perfect solution, but it just makes it a lot harder to steal. The third hack, and the one that I employ every single time I leave my bike anywhere, is to put it in the highest possible gear. And by that I mean the gear that offers the most amount of resistance. The reason for that is that if a thief jumps on it and tries to pedal away, that initial inertia necessary to get the bike moving is going to be quite high, and they're not going to go very quickly. That might give you a chance to scare them off or potentially grab your bike back, but it's important to remember not to put yourself in personal risk trying to do this. So again, in this case, it's just shifting down through the gears to the bottom cassette, the bottom sprocket on the rear cassette. And as you can see, that's now a fair bit of resistance. Someone can't jump on and just pedal away at speed. The alternative is taking the chain off the chainring altogether. And this just means, popping it off the chainring down here so it's around the BB. Now, that's also going to mean that the bike can't be pedaled away with. It could still be pushed or carried, but it's just a bit slower and a bit more hassle for a thief. And they might see that and think, I don't really fancy doing that, I have to get away quickly. It's not a surefire solution, but again, it's just something that makes your bike slightly less appealing a row of bikes to steal. Now, our last hack, and by far the best, is to use a lightweight lock of some sort. Now, what we really commonly see is quite cheap and affordable cable combination padlocks. And these can just be basically like a single bit of wire that links into a combination padlock. You set a combination, you leave it, your bike's, again, pretty hard to take away, and it can be secured to a solid object. The one problem with these is they are not that secure. Those thin cables can be cut with the most basic of wire cutters, handheld. So opportunist thieves might see those, grab the cable, cut it, and run away with your bike. So what I'd really recommend is something like this Abus Bordeaux Light Lock. Now, this is the Abus Bordeaux Light 6055. This is $59.99 RRP and weighs only 440 grams. So that's the kind of weight that is totally unnoticeable in a pannier bag, and even not a very big deal to put in your back pocket for a big road ride. Now, not only is this a really light lock, but it's actually pretty sturdy as well. We've got these steel plates and we've got these reinforced joints here. So really easy to use. We just pop this out, we pop it through the back wheel and through the frame. And that now means that a thief definitely can't pedal away with it, but equally is actually going to have to lift this bike up and carry it for as far as they need to. And that's going to be a real ordeal with a bike like this that's fully loaded with bags. Better yet, and I definitely recommend this, find a solid object to lock your bike to, and this is big enough to fit around a solid immovable object. That could be a railing, but ideally a Sheffield stand like one of these is the best solution. That is custom made for a bicycle, and with one of these attached to a Sheffield stand, which is near to a shop, it's going to be really very difficult to steal within a couple of minutes. At the same time, this isn't a Sold Secure bronze, silver or gold lock, so it's not something you can leave for very long, and it'd be, when a thief attacks it, they could probably get through it pretty quickly if they're really determined. That said, it's a lot better than using a helmet strap, it's a lot better than leaving your bike in a big gear, and it's much better than taking the chain off. All round, it's a really easy, quick solution, and it makes your bike pretty secure. So those are our quick tips to make your bike ever so slightly more difficult to steal when left unattended. At the same time, the most important thing is to be vigilant. If you're at a cafe having coffee with some friends, make sure you keep your bike within eyeshot. Better still, attach it with a helmet strapped to other people's bikes where they can see it. If someone's suspicious is near your bike, maybe go and get it. When you're going to shop and leaving your bike completely unattended and separated from you, it's really best to have a lightweight lock like the Bordeaux Light with you. Because let's say you're 2 days into a 4-day bike packing trip, if your bike gets stolen, that's the end of the trip and just very bad news all around. If you're in an urban setting and it might be left for a while, these will not do the job. Ultimately, you need to have a Sold Secure gold rated lock and you need to be locking the bike in multiple places. We have a video that details that really nicely and we'd love you to check that out. We hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you'd like to see more of our content, please visit our channel or subscribe to Cyclist YouTube.